Mason, President Trump announced last week that there would be 100% tariffs on films produced outside of the USA. Now, there was a lot of questions
Yes.
in regards to this, so allow me to break it down.
Okay.
We don't know whether this is films that were shot or made outside of the US or partially made outside of the US. A lot of films are financed in the US, but maybe filmed overseas or partially filmed overseas.
Or if it's made in the US, but the company that made it is outside the US.
That's right. Well, what if, say, the film's entirely made in the US, but the composer scores it in the UK? What does that mean?
What if they make it in the US, but like, I don't know, post-processing is done overseas, so they've got to send the files over and then send it back. Does that count?
Yes. So there's questions like that, Mason. And look, I understand that, there needs to be incentives for films to film in the US. Like, apparently it's incredibly costly to film in LA, so much so that it barely happens. Mm-hmm. But what I think people need to realize, and a lot of people know this is a stupid person who didn't think about it at all.
Didn't think about it at all.
There's speculation, because he also announced the reopening
of Alcatraz.
of Alcatraz.
That he saw Escape from Alcatraz on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true.
I think what happened, because he's like, we've got to reopen Alcatraz.
Yeah.
We've got to put
Why?
Got to put the most dangerous prisons. You've already got like 1 million Supermax prisons. They're harder to get
on an island.
They're harder to get out of than Alcatraz. Also, Alcatraz is a national park now.
Yeah.
You can buy a keychain there.
Good.
But here's the thing. It's not outside the realm of possibility that this is happening because Trump was bragging to someone about all the movies he's been in, because famously, if you film something in Trump Towers, he requires that he gets a cameo.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, wait, I've seen those movies and you're not in them. Because also, famously, most directors film the cameo with him and then they cut it out.
Yes.
And then he was like, what? And he's like, well, I've got to get revenge on Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because they cut me out of these movies. So now I'm going to ruin another industry.
Absolutely. And if this goes through, which there's a good chance that it won't, it will, because who bears the brunt of the costs?
Me.
That's right.
Me personally.
Consumers, ticket prices increase.
Yeah.
There's various knock-on effects that.
I mean,
we don't know how this will shake out, because it hasn't been thought about beyond
at all.
At all.
Yeah.
The White House did release an official statement that said, and I don't know if this helps, Mason, no final decisions on foreign film tariffs have been made.
Terrific.
Does that help?
No, but also this has already happened with like imports from China.
Yep.
People are buying small items. Like a lot of people buy like small items for their business, or items from.
It ruined the drop shipping industry.
It did ruin the drop,
which is every con man online's course to.
But also,
earn
like
you money.
a lot of stuff, even if it's made in the US or what have you, there's components that come from China, etc. And
what?
Yeah, and all of a sudden everything's
And who's going to jail for this?
You.
What?
Yeah, you should have
Right.
stopped this.
Okay.
You could have voted, but you didn't.
I did vote. I voted for Biden
Okay, right.
3 times.
Wow. Just a write-in every time.
Yep.
You voted for him in the 90s as well.
Correct. I like him. I like that he's dead. Is he dead?
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
Anyway, here's a quote.
This is our incisive political commentary. We're hoping to get in on the Wall Street Journal.
I think we can
We're
do
hoping
it.
for a bit of quid pro quo with the Wall Street Journal.
It's working. Here's a quote from Trump. As you know, I'm not going to do it.
You did the hands, though.
I'm doing the heads.
Yeah.
We're putting tariffs on film, the movie makers. And we're going to be doing some tariffs to get them, because a lot of when you don't do it in his voice, it's so much the clearer that he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have left this country.
A lot of them have left this country.
They live here. The money comes from here. Everything comes from here.
It's easy to do it when you do the hands.
The hands out.
Yeah.
But they make them in other countries. I've lost it.
Yep.
So we're going to do something to bring them back, maybe to a large extent. This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
But James Bond has nothing to worry about. That I can tell you. And Sean Connery was a friend of mine. Sean Connery was responsible for my getting zoning in Aberdeen. He said, let the bloody bloke build his golf courses.
Let the bloody bloke build his golf courses. That's what he said, Sean Connery.
I was like 4 years into the process, and it was impossible in Aberdeen. He was a great guy, Sean Connery.
Do you think he watched The Rock?
That was my initial thought before the Escape from Alcatraz thing came out.
Yeah, but then somebody
that's
said,
what I thought.
that Escape from Alcatraz was on TV.
Yeah. I don't know if Trump knows this, but Sean Connery is no longer making James Bond movies, and he died like 10 years ago. Also,
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
LXG, some call it. Not a lot of people know that.
Fabulous film. Many people are saying.
Dorian Gray, beautiful man.
Tom Sawyer, one of our beautiful boys. One of our beautiful boys in blue.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Also, like, Sean Connery's family doesn't own a stake in the franchise. He's just talking. Like, it's not anything.
Get this, James, ready for this? I talked to the Broccoli family, Barbara Broccoli.
Again, who don't own the rights to James Bond anymore. Yeah. So even if he put this through...
Oh, you know why? Bezos is off the hook.
Oh, I guess
he spoke to Jeff Bezos, and the Amazon owns James Bond.
I mean,
now. That's how this is.
It's possible, but also I think he just likes Sean Connery, or Sean Connery was nice to him once.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so there we go.
Or Sean Connery said something really mean to him, but his accent was so thick that Trump didn't understand it.
Fucking lunatic shit, man. It is wild, isn't it? What an era of nonsense.
What an era.
Yeah. Well, at least Andor's good.
Yeah, that's so true. The last piece of media we get. It's good.